I have been my father's side chick for the past 10 years now. Story time. My father and I got together when I was really in high school. This is going to be a bit complex to explain, but follow me closely so that you don't end up judging me wrongly. Being the only girl between my mother and father, if you can relate and you're the only girl, you know that probably you're very close to your dad. Growing up, I wasn't the only girl, but I ended up losing my older sister, who was the other girl in the family. So after that, it was my brothers and I, as well as my parents. Now, most of the time, it would be my dad picking me up from school, and because I had just lost my sister at that time, it was very hard for me to process her death. So every time that he would pick me up, we would go to the park, we'd just sit in the car and just talk about the death of my sister, and both of us would help each other get through it. Now, one day while at the park, I would like to preface by saying that neither of us coerced each other into what happened, but while we're sitting at the park, the car got quiet, and somehow my father and I ended up kissing. It was very unexpected, and the environment thereafter became so awkward. We both apologized to each other. At this point, I was quite old enough. I was actually in my final year in high school, so I understood perfectly everything that had just happened and what it would do to our relationship. So both of us apologized, and the awkwardness did continue for a few months. Now, it was finally graduation day, a few months after that initial kiss, and my father and I hugged. Unfortunately, on this day, my mother couldn't be around because she had to travel for work. So at my graduation, it was just my father and I, as well as my brothers. While my father was congratulating me, we hugged, and when we turned, our lips touched and we kissed. That became the second time that my father and I kissed. This time, none of us apologized. We just looked at each other and hoped that no one had seen us. Anyway, when it comes to school, my father is one heck of a serious man. He does not play about education, especially that of his children. So after grade 12, I never even took a gap year. Immediately, I was enrolled into uni. It was during uni that my relationship with my father became so serious because he would come over to where I was living. He had actually rented me an apartment, which my mother was well aware of. Even all my siblings were aware of where I was staying. But somehow, some days my father would come over and he wouldn't go. And you know exactly what happens when two adults of different genders share a room. So now, in case you're wondering, there was never really an official conversation between my father and I to say that we're now together, but just from everything we're doing, you could tell that we were together. We would go on holidays together. Bear in mind, none of my family members knew about this. And to just consolidate the whole idea that I was officially his